How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's that time again. It's time to get creative. It's time to get animating. It's time to get those imaginative juices flowing. And it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration, I have an amazing creative person here to talk about, and that is Shel Silverstein. And if you're not familiar with Shel Silverstein, chances are you've probably at least passed by one of his countless number of award-winning books, and those are like The Giving Tree, or A Light in the Attic, or Where the Sidewalk Ends. He's got a really creative mind in both illustration and in word poetry. Word poetry? Just poetry. Why did I say word poetry? I don't know. Let me know. Comments below. So anyways, I did grab a couple of his illustrations here, and these come from A Light in the Attic. I really love the way that he plays creatively with his illustrations. It's just that he wants to capture the idea behind his words as well. But I like that there's kind of a playfulness in the line, in the anatomy as well, that it isn't so rigid that it has to be, overly anatomical, or that it's okay that the lines are scratchy. It's okay that they're like right in here, you got some stuff with the line work that for myself I try not to be, but sometimes when I'm drawing, I know that I tend to be, it's got to be perfect, but in this, it's more about the overall creation than the individual parts in it, and I really enjoy that. As a creative person, I know that that's difficult for me to do. I tend to focus on the little things rather than the big picture in a lot of my drawing, and so I really admire that, because it's, you flip through this, and, he's got books done, and every image really encapsulates the idea of the page. And I think that's just so great, and I love how creative and imaginative all his stuff is too. And it's got that kind of 1970s animation style to his drawings. Like if you look at a lot of like Schoolhouse Rock and any of those kind of almost like indie animation that wasn't Funimation kind of animation that was going on. It was the other side that I really like as well. It's just so great, really expressive, and it's got like kind of a scratchy quality to all his drawings, and I really like them. But captures the pose, captures the idea behind it and everything too. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at just making sure we're still recording. Hopefully we don't have an audio problem today. A couple of little quotes that I grabbed from him as well. If you're behind the times, they won't notice you. If you're right in tune with them, you're no better than they are, so they won't care much for you. But be just a little ahead of them. And I think that's a great way to challenge yourself to always trying to be thinking of what's the next thing that's going to come, or what's something that I can do that's a little bit different, that might be breaking the box, but just a little bit, so that you're still staying with kind of with the times, but thinking a little bit outside the box and a little bit different, to try and push the medium that you're working in just a little bit more. And then I think if you're a creative person, you should just go about your business, do your work, and not care about how it's received. And that one, I think, is difficult for any creative person. You want to make sure that you're putting out a good product, like I was just talking about a second ago. I know when I'm doing my drawing, I'll labor over line and make sure it's trying to look as polished and as crisp as I can go. But there's something about just getting it out there and getting it, having a strong message, and getting behind it, and just letting it stand on its own. And that does kind of go a little bit against what we talked about yesterday. We were talking about knowing your audience, but I think it's slightly different, because it's not, in this regard, it's not being it's not going out of its way to say that you're making the wrong thing for the wrong audience. It's saying maybe that audience isn't necessarily ready for it yet, or maybe they're not in the right mood for it or anything, but you're still putting out great quality work, and it's still stuff that you know, you want people to experience and you want them to enjoy. But as a creative person, even if they don't enjoy it, you know that you put your best stuff out there and you're not too worried about that, because it's really more about the creation and the creating process for the creative person. I hope that makes sense. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our little animation shot today. We're going to be using Trixxie rig. It's a free rig you can grab from Creative Crash. I will link it down below if you guys want to try it out as well. Just a quick little pitch: if you're new to these videos, we give ourselves 48 frames, that's 2 seconds of animation. Give ourselves around an hour to go through. This is a new rig for me. I've never used this rig. I usually try to find a rig that's a different one every day for you guys to check out and try for yourselves. And yeah, we have a little bit of over the shoulder, a little bit of instruction, and overall just try to inspire you guys to go out and create more and enjoy the creative process as well. Alright, that being said, let's get started. So let's go ahead and create a polygon primitives cube, just so we have a base for which to set our floor up with. And I was thinking for this one, it would be fun to do like a handstand. I haven't done one of those in a while. So let's go ahead and switch the hands to IK instead of FK, so we can really get them planted on the ground. And then I was thinking the feet, we'd want to switch to FK instead of IK. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and turn everything off except for our NURB curves, NURB surfaces, and polygons, so we don't accidentally key the wrong thing. And then let's go ahead and turn our textures off there, just so that our shot will be a little bit lighter. We just hit 5 on the keyboard to turn that off, and we can hit 6 to turn it back on, but just so that it's we don't get that lag from having to display the textures while we're animating. And then let's go ahead and save our scene before we get too far here. We'll just wait for that to load. We are using Autodesk Maya 2014 today. It's a great program. There's a link in the information below if you're not familiar with it. I know that for students and everything, they definitely have a lot of options for you for checking it out, and they also have some newer ones where you can get like a recurring license that you can pay monthly for. That's a lot cheaper as well. But everything that I've used Maya with and everyone that I've talked to over at Autodesk has always been wonderful. Just lovely folks over there, so definitely go check it out and grab yourself a copy of the program. Okay, so that being said, let's get started. Let's go ahead and create our storytelling pose here. I want to find which one's the root here. Is this the root? No. Okay, go ahead and do that. Those two. Sorry about that. Sounds like the neighbors are going a little crazy today. And I want to flip her over since we're going to be doing a handstand. I'm not sure if we're going to come into any problems here, so what we might do instead is grab that, lift it up, and flip it that way instead. Just because it looked like we were going to maybe get some deformation rig, and I don't want that. So let's go ahead and do it that way instead. Normally what I would do is just reverse the hips and then get the legs there as well. And let's go ahead and plant those hands on the ground there. And she does have kind of a big head, so that's something that's going to be a little tricky to figure out how we approach that as well. Let's actually go ahead and pull that up a little bit more. And well, we got a visit from the little Meeps, the little kitty that we're fostering right now. Say hi. And let's go ahead and get these hands facing the right way. it's really important to nail this first pose, make sure that we get everything set up right. And then once we do that, we can get into the more subtle, nuanced stuff, but we really want to get a good, solid, strong pose here first. Okay. And let's go ahead and push the hips that way. There. Let's get a little bit more torso in here. And so we can get some of that bend there. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Let's rotate it down. Let's see if we can't. Do we have a neck controller? No? No neck? Really? It's kind of funky that we don't have a neck controller. Okay, so I guess we'll just have to do... That is really weird that there's no neck controller. Let's see, what do we have? That's elbow, shoulder. Okay, let's zero both of these out, just because we're going to have to approach this differently. Let's zero that out. What am I supposed to do without a neck? It's kind of neck animation. There we go. Alright, it's just hiding. I knew there had to be one here somewhere. Okay. Maybe. Let's see here. Oh man, this is an awkward neck here. Okay, well, since we can't do that, let's just undo this stuff. Let's go back to I guess we could do it the other way around. It's gonna have her head facing the other way. But we can do it something like that, I guess. That would work. And then we could push that down. Because I was gonna have it so that her head was leaning the other way, but maybe we can do this. Because I want to make this work. I don't want to force it too much. There should be a rotate on that neck, though. It's so strange that there isn't. Let's zero that out. a little bit. So lean them forward. And then we'll go ahead and lean them back. We're getting a little deformation there. I wonder why that is. See that little bit there? Let's see if we can't get in there and rotate those a little more. So I can do that, rotate that back, push that way. Okay, so you can get that nice bend in there. That might work. And let's go ahead and get these feet going. Sometimes I think I pick some crazy stuff to go with for different rigs when I've never used them, but that's okay. And let's go and pull it way out a little bit, and that one out a little bit. And let's squash them in a little bit more. Squash them in a little bit more, and then we'll grab that butt controller and see if we can get it so that it's not getting those deformations there. We are really breaking some stuff up on that rig, huh? Just a little bit. So we'll shoot it from this angle then, so we don't have to get that in there. And normally I would say just undo that, but I want to try this idea, see if we can't get it to work. And it's always good to push yourself to try different things as well. Now let's get these elbows up this direction. Lift the head up a little bit more. Ooh, something funky with those shoulders though. would be the other way. Why is that having such a hard time there? Let's see. Maybe there's something we can do with this chest to make it not go that way. Oof. Okay. Let's try zeroing that out again. Zero that out. No, that's not helping. Let's try maybe pushing those shoulders forward and up a little bit. No, maybe if we move the elbows up. Maybe we can move the elbows in. No, that creates a funky thing too. Alright. I like this idea though. I think it's fun. But if it's not going to be strong enough for this rig, then let's go ahead and flip it up. Flip it up. What we could do instead is we could zero this out again. It's just too much deformation, so obviously it wasn't made to do that. I don't want to push it too far if it's already looking funky before the first. Before we get into animating, then I think maybe that idea just isn't built for this one. So let's do. Okay. Let's go polygon primitives. Let's make a cylinder. Oof, that's too big. Let's squeeze that down a little bit. Let's stretch it up. I forget what they call this, but this is a gymnastics thing. We have two poles and you use your hands to prop yourself up on them. I'm sure there's a name for it. But we'll go ahead and do that. I just feel like doing something a little bit different with this rig, so let's go ahead and copy that and paste it again. Move that over to the other one. So I can still try this idea here. Now if I was doing that, chest would be puffed out. And don't forget to always use yourself as a reference. Oop, not that one. And let's grab both of these legs. I think it was what, rotate Y. I'm going to hang them down a little bit more. And then let's grab this hand. And we'll plunk it down here. This hand. And plunk it down here. So it's still kind of a handstand, it's just a different version of it. And then we want to raise the shoulders up and bring the body down a little bit. And try and keep those straight arms if we can. I think we're going to pull this, pull in a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Are there finger controls and stuff on here? Where are they? See, are they here? There we go, fingers. Whoa, come on. is just give a little bit of bend over there to those shoulders. Zero that out. Might be a little too much. Just getting kind of a funky under gobble there. And that's the thumb. So we want that thumb to be out more. And same on this side. Just getting that, nailing down that first main pose. Since we did switch our ID, it's going to be a little bit longer, so I do apologize about that. But I think this will be better in the end. I was just in the mood to do one of those. Let's see. Let's get that. Do they have a controller for each finger or what? Fingers. Oh, okay. So I can't do it. Okay, there we go. Bend one. Oh, okay. 2, 3, 4. Let's grab the other one here. And let's bend that. I just want to make sure we're cupping that fairly nicely. Let's grab the third one here. Bend that. The fourth one, we can have it off a little bit. Keep it like so. Actually, maybe a little bit more. That knuckle. It's kind of interesting that you can do the an upper. They put a controller in for that. That's interesting. I like that. Not a lot of rigs do that. It's very cool. And let's go and put that guy. Okay. And we'll grab the next one. And we'll bend that one down. Third one we'll bend. Just that. We'll spread it out a little bit more and make sure we get it outside from in there. Okay. And then let's go ahead and push these legs forward a little bit more. Find a nice balance in between the two. And let's hang those feet down a little bit more. Okay, I feel like we could actually start from somewhere now. So let's go ahead and save our file again. Just Control S, continue. And now we can actually get into getting this guy nailed down. I hope the audio is still working on here. And make sure we just have nerve curve surfaces and polygons. We're at frame 0. And we're going to 48. And let's go ahead and lock that down at frame 0. Set our key there, selected everything. And let's start nailing this guy down. Now before we go any further, let's go ahead and just tweak this just a little bit. And then we'll go 12 here. We'll push that forward. Set a key there. Grab the hips. Move those forward. Okay. I'll grab this side. We'll forward, just laying the foundation. For this one, it's going to be the hand moves and the hips are the real foundation stuff for this one. And then I want to even that out a little bit more as we go. But okay, so let's go north 7. Okay, I feel like we could do a lot more of that. First off, let's grab the translate Z. That's going to be the left-right movement on the hips here. We'll even that out. Like I said, I think I want to do a larger, so it's not from there to there, but maybe to there. Yeah, okay. We're definitely going to want to push with the translate Z. We'll start off with that being forward more. Whoa. Just a little bit. Then we're going to want to take that, push that forward so it's like in front of the body, so it could get a good silhouette. So let's see. 'Cause that looks good. Let's push it forward a little more. It's a little bit of lag with this rig. So let's see. Maybe a little less on the hips here. Just kind of finding a good amount of movement throughout this. See, because those other ones just didn't feel like enough. 24. It's supposed to be this guy that's moving, and we can't even hardly tell. Gotta really get this guy moving. Girl. So just passes the wrist there. Trying to kind of look at the spacing here to make sure we got those nice positions there. Set that there. And then we're going to do that. And probably something like that. Okay, that should be better. Let's go ahead and lock in those translations here. So that goes to there, then it goes to there. Oh, I might mess up here. Too far with those hips there. There we go. Yeah, well, okay. Just had to do some adjustments. We had it okay the first time, but it was just not enough movement. Kind of dull. Not moving fast enough. I don't want it to be super speed, but now let's compare our main keys here, which are going to be Just keep doing a little bit more tweaking until we get it exactly where we want it. I like where the hand poses are here, so we can lock those in. Now here I don't. I want this hand to be up further. I think we can push the hips up just a little bit more. Okay, that one's pretty good. This hand needs to be up further. There, so we get that good crossing pose there. Starts good there. I think we just need to maybe make these hand moves a little bit bigger. Maybe that's our problem. Just want to get those nice crossing positions. Get the silhouette in there. That's a pretty good one. We can pull that one back a little bit. We just needed to translate more. Okay. For some reason, it looked like it was easing in and out, maybe. Maybe that was our problem here. There we go. It's starting to come together a little bit more. For some reason, even in our graph editor, it didn't look like it was easing in and easing out. It was. Dun dun dun. Okay. Probably pull that one forward a little more. So we get that. That's set up. This whole thing's just taking a little bit longer, and that's the thing with animation. It's not always just know what you're doing and do it. Sometimes it's fudging with it a little bit to get it to work, tinkering. We're just going to add a little bit of up and down here to try and get some weight. Starting to get the foundation stuff there. Good. Save it again. Let's get those up and downs on those hands here. So we really want to lock in our keys because that's important. Spend a good amount of time getting some good spacing and stuff between those. And now let's do a little bit of up. It'll come back down. Raise it up. And then it'll come back down. Again, we're just going back in and making sure we nailed in our keys there. We'll raise it up, put it down, go back, and raise it up, and pop it down. Okay, so let's go and see that now. Alright, now let's go ahead and get our weight so that we got it tilted towards that side, and then it's going to be tilted towards that side, and we're going to have to do a lot of rotate here so we make sure that we get the weight feeling right. And then back again. Okay, so let's go ahead and see that. Zero that out. Okay, starting to come together here, and then we'll do the rotate Y to favor whichever hand is the more prominent forward hand, which is going to be that one there, and that one there, there. Okay, let's go see that. Okay. Let's do a little bit of this one. Okay, let's go watch that. See if maybe we can move that up a little bit more. Just gotta figure out the right timing because I don't think that's it, what we have right now. Let's see. Maybe we just need to minimize it. Delay it by like 2 frames, then 2. Let's go to the other side, see if that feels better. Okay, I think just too much right now is the problem. Not necessarily the timing, but just how much those are swinging. I don't think they need to be swinging that much. We'll do extra in the feet here. Okay, let's go watch it now. And let's go and do a little bit on the foot here. 1 second here. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back into our shot here. Let's do a little bit of foot animation here. 5, it'll be rotating this way. And back. Maybe till about 7 when we would hit that though. 19. Now that'd be 31. And then 43. And just balance it back out. So let's see. I think this first move might be a little too over exaggerated, so let's tone it down a little bit. Okay, let's go and watch that now. Let's try delaying this one 1 more frame here. 2 more frames. Feels about right. feel a little better, a little looser on those legs now. So let's go ahead and watch that now. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this foot going. And then we'll do 20. And 32. And 44. These don't have to be, we don't want these to be on the same frame that they're hitting everything, so. Let's go and watch that now. And then one thing I do think I want to do is I want to do a little less swing out on these legs. Keep them inward a little bit more. Same with the other one. Okay, let's go and watch that now. Then let's grab everything that we have on this leg and let's push it forward one frame. And everything that we have on the other one, let's delay it a frame. Let's go ahead and check that out now. Let's, maybe we'll delay our lower leg movement one more frame as well. Let's see. What else can we do? Maybe mix that up a little bit more. Guess we can vary a couple, so that one would be like a big swing out, and then a little swing. This one could be little swing, big swing, little swing. Just something more to vary them, so I don't feel like they're going at the same rate. And then maybe a little bit more on the thigh area. Around the knee, the shin bone. wish that this controller controlled the bottom of the butt though instead of the top. But I think we'll still do a little bit just to add some variation in timing and in movement there. Let's go ahead and check that out now and watch again. Okay, let's go save that, and then let's see if we can get a little bit of compression in the chest. So it would be rotate back, rotate forward, rotate back, rotate forward, rotate back, rotate forward, rotate back, rotate forward. And now let's clean that up here. Hopefully that'll give us that little bit of compression in the tummy and in the chest. From the shoulders to the hips. Hopefully I'll get a little bit of compression if we do this and then offset it by doing the chest the opposite way. And that'll give us that little bit of fleshiness in there and hopefully accentuate that there's some muscles that need to move to get the weight right to prop the body up. Okay, so let's see. For some reason, sometimes that disconnects. That's funky. Let's see here. Okay, let's clean that up a little bit more. There's a little bit of lag with this rig, so it's going a little bit slower. That's okay. I hope the audio is still recording though. And then maybe we'll do some shoulders, do the head, and then we gotta do the hands, and maybe some on the toe as well. Just a little bit on the toe. Actually, let's go ahead and knock the toe out while we can. A little bit of curve there. There. Just to give a little more looseness to it. I'm not going to worry too much about the exact timing on here because I want it to be a little bit varied from foot to foot. Okay, it feels pretty good. Let's go save here. Hey, let's do those hands. locking what we have there, all those. And we have 12, lock that in. And then 26, we're going to lock it in again. 36, lock it in. And 48, that's fine. Okay. And then at 18, I want to grab bend. Actually, drag it in, pull it out, and back in again. Drag it in, stretch, actually. Till I got 2 frames, and okay. And let's rotate that. See, so kind of drag down. Let's go close that now. Okay, I think it's a little too much rotate. So let's go ahead and scale that back a lot here. Let's go ahead and push it over. Up. mouse a frame. So there's some successive movement throughout. Okay, and then we'll do pinky. We'll delay that a frame. And index. And we'll push it forward a frame. So there's some variation throughout that as well. So let's go ahead and watch it now. Okay, let's grab bend 2, bend 2, bend 2, and bend 2. And I really want to exaggerate right this frame. Exaggerate that a little more. And a little bit more here too. Okay. Let's do a little more rotate though. Really drag that hand a little more. And translate it up a little bit more as well, because we gotta try and avoid it clipping through that pole. So it lifts up, drags down, and then stretches out and clamps. I think I still want to exaggerate that clamp down a little more, back on the pole. So that's going to be the bend 2 that I think I want to over-exaggerate there. Stretch out, back down. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. Let's get into the other hand. I feel like that worked out pretty well. Now that we've got a good idea of what we want to do, it'll be easier on this hand. So we want to raise it up, stretch it out, rotate it down, plant it again, raise it up, stretch it out, rotate it down. My thing is that the wrist is a little broken there, but I think we'll leave it for now. But if I was really getting in and polishing that up, I would probably go in and adjust it. But I think we still need that big weight shift. In the hips that's making the arm go over that way. So it would probably be more of, instead of a flat angle like that, it would be more of an angled up. The wrist joint would probably be more at like an L shape than straight perpendicular kind of a move. But I think it works for something that we're doing fairly quickly. Okay, let's go to set that at 14 and 24 and then 38 and 40. Okay. Let's take the bends, let's straighten them all out. let's do a little bit of breaking up of the timing on this hand. But so let's grab the index and the middle finger. I feel like I grabbed the wrong controller there for a second. Don't want to do that. And let's take the 2, 3. Let's take a 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, and 3 and 4, and we'll delay all that a frame. And then we'll take all the 4s, 4, 4, 4, and we'll delay all that a frame. And we'll take everything that we have on the pinky, we'll delay that a frame, and everything that we have on the index, and we'll push that forward a frame. That'll add a couple frame variation for everything so that the timing, and we got that successive movement throughout the fingers. And then let's go ahead and save our file and see if we can't get a little bit of head movement in there, maybe a little more on the shoulders. Let's see here. Let's translate X there. Let's see here. Just a little slight tilt on, let's see, I guess over here, a couple frames after that, just so it hits and then tilts a little bit. And back. Let's see. So there's like a little bit of overreaction to it. And then let's go ahead and even that out a little bit more, because right now we're favoring one side over the other. I think we're going to do like a behind or maybe 3/4 view, because I think this one works better. Looking at it behind, we got everything working. Let's go ahead and save our file here real quick. Continue here. I feel like that's working pretty well. Let's go ahead and drop that cube a little bit more so we can get a better silhouette there. Okay, move it out that low. Save our file here. Let's maybe create a couple of posts for these to be built on. So let's go ahead and create Polygon Primitives Cube. Raise that up, just so it looks like these puts have some sort of support here. Not that. Control C, continue, and Control V. I'm just going to pop that guy over there. And then Control C, continue, Control V. I'm going to paste another one down at the end here. Like I said, just so that we give our, copy that. gives us a little more of a reference here for what we're looking at. Like I said, maybe we'll do a 3/4 view here. 3/4 and slightly above. Let's watch it. Let's see if we can't stretch these out a little bit further to move those back a little more this way. 1 and 2, and we're just going to stretch them out that way a little bit more. Push them down and see a little bit more. And push those down and see as well. Just so that it gives us a clear silhouette throughout, so those aren't going to be bugging us. And let's go ahead and scale that guy out a little bit more, and we will scale it in a little bit as well. Push it over a little bit, and translate it down just a little bit. Just want to keep the feet out there. That means we'll have to scale those up a little bit more and down a little bit more. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good angle there to watch that. And now, one thing we do need to do is make sure that there is the same as the beginning. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and play blast that. Call it Trixxie Walk. Yeah, I feel like that's working pretty well. One more thing I might touch up here. Make sure we're still recording. Yep. Maybe do a little more in the shoulders. So kind of crank that one down a little bit more. It just feels like that area is really stiff. Raise it up a little bit more. Crank it down. Raise it up. Go back to what we had at the beginning. And same here. Crank it up and push it down, just so there's some change of shape across the top of the chest and shoulder bones there, because that was feeling a little too stiff. We don't want that to lock off there. Okay, so let's go and watch that. Now what if we took both of those and we push them forward one frame, just so it feels like that's leading the arm movements. Yeah, I feel like that's a little better. Let's go ahead and turn our curves off. We'll go ahead and keep that playing here, and we'll take a look back at what we got inspired by this afternoon, and that was Shel Silverstein. If you're behind the times, they won't notice you. If you're right in tune with them, you're no better than they are, so they won't care much for you. Be just a little ahead of them. I think that's a great goal to have, to always be thinking just a little bit further ahead than everyone else is, but still working within, what's kind of the milieu of the day. And then I think if you're a creative person, you should just go about your business, do your work, and not care about how it's received. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, to just put your head down, focus on your work, and make your work speak for itself. And if it's good, it'll stand on its own. Alright, that being said, folks, thanks again for all the likes and subscribes. You guys are amazing. I hope you're staying inspired and motivated to continue to go down your creative path, whatever it is that you're in. And that being said, you guys have a wonderful and amazing afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more animation.